Good evening, India. It's 6 o'clock in India, and good afternoon, London. It's 12:30 here. Beautiful sunny day in London, but things are not as sunny as they seem, as we know. The coronavirus is here and making a big impact on us. But is there another kind of virus spreading? Is there a reason for us to worry more? Now, you may have noticed that we have been listening to a lot of stories, let's say Chinese whispers. The president of United States actually called the coronavirus a Chinese virus, Chinese illness. Should we worry? Now, I've grown up in India and I'm a minority, a Mangalorean by birth. So every time I have gone out, people have said to me, "Oh, you're from Mangalore, so Maka Pao." That's something I've heard all my life. If you're from Maharashtra, and you introduce yourself, people will instantly call you a Ghati. If you say you're Marwadi, then they will say Makhi Chus. So for every community, we have a label, we have a name. So if you understand this really well about India, we basically have a systematic discrimination that is happening. It's part of our DNA, it's something that we've grown up with. We don't even realize that it's become a part of us and that we're carrying this virus with us all around. Recently, you must have heard, and it's happening on a daily basis, and it's quite escalating quite a bit, that our friends, our Indian families in India from the Northeast are being called names. They've actually been called Corona because they look Chinese, but they are Indians. Now, is this an issue for all of us? Do we feel anything about us? Does it impact us? Does it not impact us? Do we feel bad about it? Do we not feel bad about it? Is it time for us to be kind? I'm being joined by very interesting people from India, and Dipannita Sharma, who's just lost the network, will be back soon. Meanwhile, we have Bijou Thaangjam. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly.
Yeah.
Actor from Mumbai, who's currently in Manipur. So, Bijou, can you tell me, whilst Ankita, Dipannita, and the other guests join us, can you tell us briefly about your story?
Um, see, I'm a Northeastern. I'm from Manipur. I'm an actor, and being an actor, a Northeastern actor in Mumbai is a big thing because you see in Indian cinema, it's like 100 years of Indian cinema. You hardly find an Oriental actors. It's a very handful. It's just a few of us. So the struggle that I face every day, daily basis is kind of, you can say, like, it's too much. And again, the funniest thing is that what is happening right now in the situation in the country, that people are calling us Corona. This is again, it's too much to take actually. So I must say that that is my story is something that I always wanted to inspire, and that's the reason I moved to Mumbai and I become an actor. So I always wanted to break the stereotype that whatever the Indian society had put on. And again, because of this, I had worked really hard myself to be where I am, and with the current situation that is happening is very heartbreaking. It's a lot of the time we really work really hard and we want to be part of the society and we just want to be one. India as a diverse country, we just want to celebrate that one. And just because that we look different and people started calling us Corona in the current situation, that is very heartbreaking. I mean, I don't know what to say. I have no other words. I only can say that we need to educate people. We need a better education system. It's awareness is the main thing. We need to educate people. Otherwise, this is not going to be the last thing. We There's a high time we need to educate a lot of people. And the funniest thing is just 2 days ago I was going through my nephew's textbook, CBSE textbook, third standard, and on the social science, there is a names of states and its capital. And the funniest thing is that the name of one state has been missed out. That is the state of Manipur.
Oh,
I mean,
interesting.
how can they do that? NCRT book is one of the book that widely a lot of it has to, it's a very what do you call, I don't know, I mean, I have no words to say about this thing. I mean, missing out one particular state from that textbook, how the kids, how the children will learn that. I mean, how when they grow up, how, I mean, there is
Vijay, I'll tell
such kind of a
very good point, Ray. I will just come
yeah,
back to you in a short
yeah,
while. Meanwhile, we've been
yeah.
joined by Dipannita Sharma, Bollywood actor and award-winning actress from Assam, and also a very, very strong activist and influencer. Plus, we also have Ankita Konwar, millennial influencer, an ultra runner, and so many other things that Ankita is known for. And Ankita has family back in Guwahati as well. Now, Dipannita, to start with you, there was a post that you put up on the 19th of March, which basically really disturbed me. That was the first time I'd heard about somebody in India had openly called somebody Corona because they looked Chinese. And I was in disbelief. And I remember you and I had chatted for a while about it. Can you tell me more about how you feel being from Assam and what is your take on this entire Corona incident?
Okay, so the issue that we are talking about today, and I think Biju also addressed it in the beginning, and I missed a lot of it. Uh, it's not new. It has been going on for so long, and the fact that there's been such little change is what in terms of mentality, there's been little change. I sometimes see we all belong to certain parts of the country. We are very happy to look like where we come from, right? We are very proud of our roots. But the discrimination is what is an issue. Now, if we talk about our country, why is it that
Dipanita, the frame is frozen. I'm not able to hear you very well. For some reason, Dipanita has been lost. I'm sorry, the broadband connectivity during these times is quite poor. So please bear with us with the tech issues. Ankita, in the meantime, can I please ask you a question? You and I have had conversations about this over a long
Yeah,
time. You do
yeah,
look Chinese, as you have said
I do.
yourself. You have said this yourself to me many times, and you've said that you have been discriminated. Can you tell me
Yes.
about what your, the incidents that you have faced, and in particular, right now, are you facing any such issues?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm not going out, so people are not being able to say anything. But at least on social media, they're being, I mean, being very, very cruel. At times, they are. They would just write Corona because I don't think they would want to say something, particularly, but they would just write Corona on a picture and they would just go vanish. So, I mean, what exactly are you trying to say when you're writing something like that? Not only just my pictures, I have seen other people's as well, like, usually a platform like TikTok, where there are a lot of Northeastern people are there on that platform. And I have seen so many people writing that particular word on everybody who look like probably like me, you know,
What are they trying to
with
say? You think? What are they trying to say to you? Are they trying to be condescending? Are they trying to be funny? Do they don't get it?
that's exactly what my point is. I don't understand whether they're trying to be funny or they're just trying to put you down, or that's the whole thing. I mean, probably they're not aware that, laughing at somebody just like saying a word, or just because you look a certain way, you're saying something to somebody, and that is actually hurting somebody else. They're not aware of it, probably, some of them.
So
And
you,
some of them are just saying it because they think that it's funny.
yeah, so you both have family back home, right? So,
Yes.
Bijou, in your case, you have family back there, and what is
Yeah.
their reaction? Are they facing similar disturbing, conversations, incidents?
See, they know, they are aware of what other thing is happening it here, but not physically or not personally, they have not faced such kind of thing, thankfully. But it was just me actually. And again, the craziest part here is that I'm exposed to many places. Like I come from Mumbai. While I was traveling, this is a very true incident. I'll tell you what happened recently. I was traveling back from Bombay to Imphal. So I was all there in Kolkata because we have to switch the flight. So I was there for a couple of hours. And the craziest thing is that when I was sitting there in the CCTV, people gave that look as if like I am the virus, that they have to stay away from my place. But anyway, I'm a antisocial and I'm loving it. Actually, people were people were giving that look and they were keeping the distance. But the thing is that I have a kind of a weird sense of humor that I take it away. But this can't be not happen. This should not be happening with each and every individual. This is just an ignorant. So I as a person will take it as a lightly, but I will try to make them understand this is a wrong way. But there are some people who really get offended easily because this is not exactly the right thing,
Yeah, but are
and
you,
it should not be actually.
Bijou, by you
Hmm.
saying this, are you saying that you got so used to it that you don't take it the wrong way? You're saying it's fine to
No,
be.
see, I'm very sarcastic. So I always believe that why should I give galis when I can tell them in a very sarcastic way? So, but yet if there is a kind of a physically abuse or if there is something is very wrong, then yes, obviously I always take my stand.
Wonderful.
I go there and I tell them that this is wrong. It
Okay.
shouldn't be.
Okay. So
Yeah.
today, a friend of
So
mine, sorry, I'm interrupting. Today, a friend of mine sent me a video of an actual thing
hmm,
happening as he was standing somewhere at a supermarket. This happened a few minutes back. And I
yeah,
said,
I saw that. I
what is this supposed to
hmm,
mean? I said, apparently, is at a supermarket where this guy is standing in queue and he's looking at this person who I can't see and is saying
hmm.
to Corona, don't come in the way. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And he looks absolutely
Yeah.
educated. He's probably a very senior employee somewhere, professional somewhere. So then how do you deal with it? She gave it back to him because now
Um,
climate,
if
climate you can.
Yeah, being an actor in Bollywood have taught me a couple of things that, earlier I used to give them back immediately in the way that, like Mutor Jawab kind of thing. But nowadays, like I'm so good. If somebody says that, hey, you look like a Chinese, go back to China, then I'll say that, yeah, bro, you look like Pakistani, go back to Pakistan. Because anyway, Pakistani and Indian doesn't have, everyone look the same. So that way I have a different kind of a way to deal with them. I wouldn't be like making a videos and make it a viral kind of thing, but I understand, yeah, some every individual have their own way to take that particular situation. For me, I deal in a different way. I make it in a way that should not go beyond in a very violence way, but in a very humorous way. But yet, I come out from that situation making my point that that was wrong.
Dipanita,
It's
question
like,
to you. What we're discussing
hmm,
is, are we getting so used to being called whatever we being called that we are okay with it until we all collectively talk about it? So, what's your view on it? How do you deal with something like that? Do you first of all get these kind of comments? And if you do, how do you deal with it?
Were you asking me?
Yes,
yeah,
yes, Dipanita. Sorry if the
Yeah.
audio is not clear.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, because I've
So my
been
question is,
going,
I'm happy to
yeah.
respond, repeat that, is that are we getting used to being called names? Are we used to this so much that we basically just kind of either, turn away or we
Yeah.
respond to it in a manner that is sarcastic, like Bijou said, or we just don't react at
Yes.
all. So do you face this? Because you don't look Chinese. And how do you deal?
So that is the other thing. Yeah. So when began my career, so this is what I used to hear all the time. Oh, you're from the Northeast. Oh, you're from Assam, but you don't look really. So at that point, at a certain point, I used to be like, okay, that's great for work and stuff like that. Now I think about it. I don't take it as a compliment, because for me, I'm very proud of where I come from, and I want to look like a Northeast. I'm very happy about that. But my point, coming back to that point that I had told you, that why have we decided what an Indian looks like? Why have we decided that this is how a
Yeah,
particular state, people from this state, people from this region should look like? Why have we decided that? Where is the where is the community feeling here? Where is the acceptance if we are always going to discriminate on the basis of, which region you come from? So I'm
absolutely.
saying the responsibility also lies on us, I feel, in a way. And also the people who probably are part of media or make cinema, to be more inclusive for the largest
Brilliant.
part, right? For the
Yeah.
largest part, we are only showing one part of India as India, because the makers were probably from that region, so they only show that part. So I'm saying that is where then it sits in our heads that this is how an Indian woman should look, this is how an Indian man should look, and that is where the problem starts from. There are little changes, I feel, that have begun to happen. Now I see a lot more inclusivity when it comes to Indian ad films. There is some inclusivity, a little bit of inclusivity in certain, digital shows and stuff like that. But I still, largely in cinema, I still don't see it. Uh, uh, Maybe
Cinema is
someone
all about
who,
Khan.
right, yeah. So I'm saying, maybe someone who looks completely, yes, like they say, they would like to say that, oh, you completely look Northeastern. Let's see a leading man who looks completely Northeastern, a
Yeah,
leading
I
woman who
agree.
completely looks Northeastern, right?
You
So that is where
in
the
cinema,
inclusivity begins.
sorry, I'm interrupting. In cinema, sorry,
Yeah.
Bijou, one second. Sorry, when can you minute? In cinema, they basically, if they have to show a drunken man, who is it?
Yes.
It's always a Catholic.
Yes.
So it's
Exactly.
it's
This
so
is where it
serious,
comes from.
and I agree with you that we
Yes.
have to stop this. We have to stop.
Yes.
Sorry, I lived in New Zealand. I live in India now, and I've lived in India. In India, sorry, I live in London now, and I live in India, right? So I
Yeah.
have experienced this everywhere. We are the
Right.
most racist people in the world, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Of course,
And
having
we,
a president who says
right.
this is Chinese virus doesn't matter, yeah. But we are the most racist. We have names for everything.
Yes, so I'm saying that, we call the whole world racist, and we have fought against this at a certain time, right? That we were discriminated against. But now, since independence, we are busy discriminating amongst ourselves. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is where the problem lies,
yeah,
technically,
I
you know.
remember this. I
yeah,
remember this
And you're
instance.
so right about segregating every part. This part will be, so we've always done a caricature of everything, right? So so and so from West Bengal is going to talk a certain way, and they are only going to eat rasgullas. So and so from here. So I'm saying, so the
yeah,
basics itself is right. The basics itself is an issue. When I was um, in Delhi, when I began my uni in Delhi University, I had just stepped out of Assam, and for me, this constant thing that uh, that Northeastern girls are a certain way was something that,
Yeah.
this is how Northeastern girls are, this is the kind of food they eat, this is the, so this was a constant thing there. There was a different way of looking at the, and looking at people from the Northeast. So this percolates to everything, right? When you hear, so later when I went on to, when I moved to Mumbai, then I saw another perspective completely, where all of them looked at, oh, people from the south are a certain way, people from the northeast are this way,
yeah,
people from people from UP Bihar are a certain way. So in every part of India, there is a way of looking at other parts of India. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So,
So
Ankita,
which
you
is
were saying
where
something. Sorry,
this is the larger concern.
Dipannita, I'm
Um,
going to pass it on to Ankita. She was trying to say something.
oh yeah, just this reminded me of
I
an
see you were
instance
about
when
to say something.
I had just come back from Maldives, I guess, and I had landed in Bangalore. and I was trying to clear immigration. And I remember standing in the queue where there was, of course, said Indian passport holders, right? So then this guy all of a sudden comes from somewhere. He's like, I think, an immigration officer. He would just comes to me and says, visa on arrival is on the other side. So I said, but I am an Indian. And he could see my passport. But regardless, he just decided to say that anyway. And then I was like, I was taken back. And then I said, okay, then I remember there's another person who had come and he pointed, this time he pointed at the visa on arrival counter and he said, that's your counter. And I said, I have an Indian passport. I am an Indian. And then the same guy who came for the first time, he came with somebody else to check my passport. I mean, how insulting is that? Like you're telling them again and again that I have an Indian passport, I am an Indian citizen. So he came again to check it,
Hmm.
and I was furious. I lost it at that time, and I started shouting. Of course, I said, like, how can you behave like this? Like, if I were to be a person from outside, I would have gone there. It's not like I don't know how to read. And okay, I understand. Fine, you're doing your job and you're pointing, like, you're trying to help. But when the person has already told you thrice that, they are from that your country, why can't you accept it just because I look a certain way?
Yeah, so
I
on
mean,
that, yeah, thanks, Ankita, for sharing that. So on that note, I will share this that if
yeah,
these things happened outside of India, right, where the law
yeah,
is very strict, there are legislations around this. You cannot
yes,
discriminate, you cannot be racist. Things happen.
exactly.
You get,
Yeah,
you get fined or things happen to you,
yes,
right? And I
yes.
almost wonder whether these are things that we should start, talking about in India. And I've got Kenza here, Kenza, who joined us as a guest. Thanks, Kenza, for joining in. Entrepreneur.
Hi.
And Kenza, please tell us your side of the story and just as briefly as you can, and how you can contribute and how you impacted by this Corona name calling slur.
Uh, Raga, I was listening to everybody, and interestingly, thank you. You started in a very nice way, describing that how we as Indians, give names, certain names to a certain community. Like you said, you are a Mangalorean, and you have that, particular single name which is given to a Marathi, which is given a Ghoti, to a North Indian Bhaiya, we call it, to a Bengali, we call it a Bengali, right? My thing basically is that from Northeast, why we have multiple names, either decide to call us one name. Either Chinky, they will call us Nepali, Chinky, Gorkha, Chapti, Nepti, Momo, Noodle. You can't fight at that level. Point number one is that, right? Point number two is that
True.
I come from a very small place called Kalimpong, which is Darjeeling, and we are diving by default, basically, definition, we are not considered Northeastern, basically, but by looks, we are Northeastern. We are Mongolite race, correct? So my experience is that every Northeastern, guy basically or girl basically who goes to school for higher education, for job, for anything basically. Now I'm in employment for so long. I migrated so many people. I've known this. I faced in Indore when first when I started in train, right from the time I started in the train, I have faced racial slurs basically till the time I joined college. And I was even rusticated in my second day of college because I bashed up a senior in Indore, in M. Khalsa College. But over a period of time, my reaction started changing. I also started getting mature. The idea
Mm-hmm.
basically is that for any Northeastern basically who has not left Northeast basically, if any mainline person comes, we also do not know who is a Bihari, who is a Bengali, who is a Punjabi, who is a Marathi, we do not know, right? But good thing about Northeasterns basically is we try to adapt and understand and try to know more about things. We don't pass judgments so easily. That is very, very killing, right? And especially, in the 21st century, where, I felt very bad basically, and I mean, voicing my opinion for last, I think about 10 days or so is the incidents which are happening are, really, 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 really sad. I can understand basically that in metros, we don't expect this type of incidents to happen in metros in 21st century in India. In
Somebody
metros, this
was
incident is happening.
yeah, somebody was spat
What
on.
if this incident starts happening in tier two and tier three and tier four cities? It's gonna be a massacre. My worry is that. And another important thing, basically, which I am in Calcutta right now, which I really, really felt bad, basically, was I always thought that Bengal was closest to the northeast in proximity. These incidents are happening in Bengal, which is really, really saddening.
So
My
how are you
concern is
as a community? How are you managing this as a community, Ankita and Dipannita? If you can respond to that. So we are in
Um,
tier one cities, right? So, but as a community, we are all like, how are we looking after each other?
What?
well,
Sorry. Yeah, Ankita, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Dipannita, you start, and then Ankita can share, and then we can
Okay.
get
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
comments as well.
Okay. So I think, look at this is, one of the things I think this Facebook Live thing that you decided to do, Raga, is a great idea. These are the things that we can do, I think, to go ahead in terms of, say, the way we take care of each other. And I'm saying as a community, in sense of this is where we need to come together. I think, yes, as a community and as Indians as a whole, and in this crisis, the world as a whole, so these are trying times, and if this is the time we start discriminating, then we are done for.
Right.
So the thing is, I think the people who actually get it, people who understand, we come together and we spread awareness, and that's the way to look out for each other.
Ankita, you were saying
Yeah.
something?
I truly believe what Dipanta just said. It's just not just us, but also the people who actually are aware of it and know us. I mean, in fact, we have to stand for each other. You know, if somebody is calling someone Corona or Momo or Noodle or Chapti or something, stand up for that person. I mean, it doesn't have to be just that person saying it, right? I mean, if
Right.
somebody else is calling me, you can also come and say that, okay, this is not the way to talk to anybody, like, or talk to, you cannot address somebody like this. As a community, we have to stand together, and not only just I mean other times, but at this time, now that corona has struck us, and it comes from, I mean, we don't know for sure, but if we have to talk about our features, right? And everybody's saying, oh, you are Chinese and you had brought corona to our country. You can't say that. We are a part of this country. We have been a part of this country. So, you have to understand it, and you have to broaden your horizon, and you have to understand your geographical knowledge. You have to, gather your knowledge.
Right. Bijou, what about you? What's your take on this?
Yeah, I'm totally. I agree to both Dipanita and Ankita. We should stand for each other. It's no matter like if you face by yourself, or should we should be together in this time, not just this time, like anytime if anybody has to say something about the northeastern, if we are not united, and if we don't stand for togetherness for each other, then no one will understand. We have to tell our own story. We have to
I
tell
can't really
everybody. We
hear
have to.
him there.
It shocks me.
Can you hear?
Human.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you. You know what? It shocks me as human being, mankind.
Yeah,
There is so much happening around the world. We don't even know from, none of us know, right? This is an
yeah.
equalizer. This coronavirus is an absolute equalizer. I don't know whether I'm going to get it. I don't know myself whether tomorrow I'm going to survive this or not. So none of us have
Yeah.
answers. So instead of focusing on that and being kind and considerate, some of us have just taken this route of just being insensitive,
Yes.
incapable of even showing any kind of kindness towards each other. This is what I don't understand. So, do you think that we should have a legislation? Do you think that policing has to be involved in this? That human beings can do it? Should we get lathis in place?
Uh,
What's that?
that's what I said.
If that's the
Education is quite
only
necessary in
language that
yeah,
you understand, then yes, I think that is the only way. Why can't you be
yeah.
kind and compassionate?
Yeah. I'm thinking is it now time for us? And I'm going to bring in Kenza on this. Let me just bring him on. Kenza, I know that you have been. I'm just going to get Kenza here. Kenza, hi. So,
Hi.
hi. Welcome back. I know that we've been talking about, you and I've been chatting about that, the conversations are happening at the ministerial level, legislation needs to change. So now, do you think we've reached the point where we really need to bring in some change and a piece of paper that will stop these people from discriminating and doing this?
I think that obviously, yeah, before we started this conversation, we were making, and we were discussing that, there is a lockdown, but Dipannita was saying that there are still people playing, football outside and cricket outside. Same thing, basically. I think MHA has passed a notification on 21st March, correct?
Yep.
But the question basically is it just a piece of paper? Are the state going to implement that? That is the question. I think that is where I think all the Northeast state leaders have to come together basically and ensure basically that these laws are strictly adhered to and made actionable.
But not just Northeast, right? Everywhere in the country, people are playing
Absolutely,
football.
absolutely. MHA has passed a notification to every state on 21st.
Yeah. So my question is a little different. I'm saying that as people from the Northeast and people from India, where we feel that this is happening is wrong, is there anything that the government should do to stop this? Because it is quite out of control, right? When we should be focusing on getting better and doing the right things in the time of coronavirus.
I think there is a Supreme Court order which has been passed, if I'm not mistaken, about a year back on, if any Northeastern people being called chinky will be jailed for 5 years.
Okay.
That is there, obviously, which is there. But the question is about, it's not about just strategy and idea. It's about implementation. It's about serious implementation. See, I have a larger thing to discuss here. The problem basically is in Northeast, in out of 8 states, except for Assam, there is no national coverage. It's very sad. If this had happened to any Bengali or any Marathi or any Bihari, it would have been a national issue. Trust me on this.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
start backing mainland guy in Northeast, there will be a national issue immediately.
absolutely. I'm going to read out something that someone has written. Is Kanchok Limbu? He said, I am from Sikkim and people are so ignorant. They think Sikkim is part of Bhutan. That's so ignorant. When are we going to create mass awareness? When? So, obviously, yeah, when? So, we're doing it, right? Limbu, right
Yes.
now, we're doing it.
Yeah.
See how we
Like I
do it.
mentioned, yeah, this is a good, what we are doing today. These are the small little things that I think we can do
Yeah,
from our end. Yes, we probably have a long way to go yet.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll get there. We will get there, and we have to get there. And we, as a country, need to become a community. We, as a world, we have to become one world. We need to get that here. We need to get that here and in our hearts,
yes.
basically.
And
Yeah.
Kisha, you run, right? You run and you're running on public roads, which I know that right now you're saying you're staying indoors, but I know you. It's going to be a matter of time. You're going to be back on the road. Do you feel safe?
Do I feel safe? I think I have been somewhat privileged, to be honest, where I am today. Of course, even if I run on the roads, probably I would be safe. But when I'm traveling, if I have to travel at this point of time, anywhere, if I have to go, I don't think I would feel safe at all. It has always been there, as a Northeastern, not only this time right now just because of the coronavirus, but it has always been there as a Northeastern. You never feel safe. I remember staying in KL, which felt more of like home rather than staying in Bangalore or Calcutta or Delhi. When I was staying in these cities, I always felt like because they would treat you in a certain way because you're Northeast, because you're from Northeast, and they would be like, "Oh, you are from this place, so you must be like this, you must be outgoing and outspoken, and you must be drinking and smoking and doing stuff like that." They have this perception towards northeastern girls. I don't know why, but people really need to change it.
Yeah, yeah,
People, this whole point of asking people, "Oh, which country are you from?" As soon as you see
yeah,
somebody who has ethnic features like me, you
yeah.
have to stop asking that question. First, get to know the person. Who knows? Maybe that person is from your country
And how does it
before
manifest
going and asking.
in you?
Yes, I remember this person came to me and asked me, "Are you from Tibet?" I said, I said, "No, which country are you from? Are you from Tibet?" I said, "No, I am from Assam." India. He's like, oh, you look like you're from Tibet. I said, do you have a lot of friends in Tibet? So he said no, but he just
Yeah. I
he said
think
he
it's
just
great that we can look like, perhaps it's great, right? It's great that you can
yes,
look like from, and that's a great compliment that you can look like from you're from anywhere.
yes,
But I
yes,
think we should be proud, and I think that should be a thing of pride. But the
yes,
discrimination is the issue at the end,
absolutely, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
read a very
you
interesting story today. It's about this, the doctors, a team of doctors going somewhere in this time of coronavirus, and
right,
there were a couple of Chinese doctors. So they said, "Oh, come, let's all sing," and they assumed that the person who looked Chinese was going to sing a Chinese song, and he ended up singing an old song, Meena Kumari song, Indian song. And these guys were embarrassed. They said, we discriminated. We made that assumption. And he
Yeah.
ended up
yes,
with an old Meena Kumari, Sahib Bibi or Gulam song.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's what I'm
That.
saying. We all do
Yeah.
this without knowing. And I think at some point, see, to me, it's fine. To some extent, it's fine because we are all human, right? We have been
Yeah.
brought up, it's in our DNA.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
we can still be kind. We don't have to be unkind. That's my point.
absolutely,
Exactly.
exactly,
Yeah. So
The
right now,
heart,
yeah,
have it in your heart to be kind and to
correct,
be nice, that's it. That's all we need to be,
correct.
you
And there
know.
are two
yeah,
things I want to share before we end this. I know that Ankita is in Guwahati. Parents are in Guwahati. Dad's not very well. He's on dialysis. So
yes,
we have to be kind. We don't know what Ankita or people like Ankita are going through, for instance.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in the background, everybody has lives.
Every person has a story.
Yeah.
Dipannita, you are an actor. This is your livelihood. Suddenly, there's no work in the industry. You're sitting
Yeah.
at home. Yeah, we've got others here. Kenza, we've got Bijou actors, people who are entrepreneurs. We've all have
Yeah.
nothing, right? We've lost our
No.
livelihood, or we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So,
Right.
Yes,
beyond all these spaces, beyond all these features, beyond everything else, we are the same people. We are human. We have the same lives, similar lives to live. Is
Yeah.
there a message we can give to the people of this world? Whether it's India or rest of the world, whether it's about the Northeast or the rest of us, can we give a message each, please?
I think I would just like to say that this is the time to keep it together, practice peace of mind. I know it is very tough and it is easier said than done because we are all under lockdown. And, just practice self love, practice love for the world, you know, just, and maybe this is the time to look inwards. In fact,
yeah,
this has happened in the universe because of this, and like we were discussing the whole kindness thing. I mean, this is the time to do all of that, send out good vibes and think good things, and maybe we will all come out of this better, nicer, different people, And maybe we need that right now. We need the faith and we need the hope.
Lovely Ankita, what do you have
yeah.
to say?
There's a lot of, I mean, everything is uncertain right now.
Yeah.
In this at this time, I think we have to be kind, considerate, and we have to, like the Pandita said, rightly so, that we should look inside and realize the good in us rather than being pessimistic. We should just realize, focus on the good, and see the good things that we have, appreciate them more, appreciate the time that you're getting with your family and your friends. And if you're not being able to be with your friends or family, just be with them virtually, because we are blessed nowadays to have a platform, digital platform, to be able to get in touch with each other. So stay connected, stay just connect to your roots basically, and be a kinder version of yourself.
Yeah. And
Kenza,
please, everyone, stay home. I want to tell people because I've been seeing
stay home.
people play football in the playground. I mean, this is crazy. Just please stay home. Stay home for our sake, for everybody's sake, for the sake of humanity.
Seriously.
Please.
Kenza,
Please.
message for all of us.
I just have one message, that is, I think India has three major race. One is the Aryan, second is the Dravidian, and third is the Mongoloid, right? So if you disrespect one from the other, then you're gonna disturb the unity in diversity. That's my say in
Wonderful.
this.
Wonderful. Bijou, I'm going to get you on stream. And Bijou, what is your message?
See, everything had been said by Dipanita and Ankita. So for me, for the current right now situation, I just want to say is that wash your hands and don't be a racist.
Wonderful. I'm going to end this very shortly. Thank you all for being here. I also want to tell people to stay home, first of all, wash your hands, stop being racist, be kind, be considerate. And we are all one, really. In the end, we are all going to go the same way. Be
Yes,
kind.
True.
And
Very
absolutely.
all
true.
of us here are influencers. Let's spread this message of love. Let people just be. If you want to call anybody names, go to the mirror, call yourself that name. That is the best advice I can give you. Okay?
Absolutely, Raga.
Thank you very much, and Jai Hind to all of us.
Jai Hind.
Thank you for
Do take
joining
a
us. Thank you.
screenshot.
Thank you. Love you all.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you.